Welcome everyone to Steel City Comics, the first ever podcast episode. This is a little passion project me and Turbo, who you see on the other screen, have had in the works for a while. Just to quickly introduce ourselves, we're a couple mates from the same town with the same passion in comics. We've been wanting to talk about it for a while, and we've been trying to get this podcast up and going, and finally, first episode comes to light. Myself, I do a bit of collecting, but I am more into chasing all the new releases, keeping up to date, reading. Occasionally I'll dip back into some old issues and read through them. Personal favourites, of course, Spider-Man, X-Men, and anything horror related really, which I've started to pick up more and more of this year. And I'll pass you over to Turbo, who will give you a quick intro of himself, and then we'll jump into some comic chat.
I've been collecting comics probably for 8 or 9 years now. I started off in the Bronze Age. Now I'm like into the Silver Age because I grew up with the Fantastic Four and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But you know, as you get older, you get told you're not allowed to read comics and play with toys anymore. So
time to grow up.
I started going back and collecting a lot of my old stuff. I grew up with like Venom and stuff. I haven't got a lot of Venom yet, but I've got a lot of Silver Age Fantastic Four and a lot of the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle run. But yeah, I do read regular comics as well, like modern books as well, but not a lot.
And over the course of the podcast, we'll no doubt see some of that collection. And I'm telling you, it is worth flexing. Yeah, so we thought it'd be a good occasion to talk about the new Spider-Man No Way Home, because we actually went and seen it together last night with a couple tag-alongs who just wouldn't leave us alone. Shout out to the wives. And we know we were late. We were late to the party. We've worked hard to avoid spoilers, but
yes,
now that we've actually seen it, I have to say it lived up to the hype for me. What about yourself?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I think it's like most MCU movies. If you see them a second or third time, you'll probably appreciate them more and understand the story more and be better. But yeah, I did like the dark side of that, because a lot of the Silver Age to me wasn't just superheroes and, you know, the good guy always wins. It was like people did die in the comics.
It did get like a real dark suddenly, didn't it?
Yeah, and I think the MCU do a really good job of you actually like falling in love with the character, the actor, the lot, a whole movie, and then when someone dies, it actually like kind of means something to you. Like you feel it. Like when we were in the cinema, everyone felt like when bad things happen, people felt it, man.
Yeah,
I think that's what the MCU does really well in.
Just in case anyone watching or listening hasn't seen it yet, we'll say that there might be spoilers ahead. I'll put timestamps in the description, so if you want to avoid spoilers, you can skip ahead. But last night, like you said, what MCU do really well is they get you invested, and then the dark stuff happens, like, spoiler alert, when May died last night. And it was a heavy moment, and not long after it, they pick you right back up with a feel-good moment. You're literally still drying the tears, and you're like, I feel guilty for smiling. I feel guilty for being happy right now.
No, they do. They really do. They really get you in love with the characters. Like, I like a lot of characters from like reading the old books anyway, and then you see them on the screen like that, you just they do it extremely well.
And they deserve so much credit for the cast they put together, because it's so hard in modern film for actors to be retained. It's something like the MCU do well. They've held on to characters. But
yeah, that's true.
The issues between Disney and Sony have been pretty public. So for them to have like an amicable agreement where they've retained all those old characters, with probably the exception of Kirsten Dunst's MJ, but all the old characters that they've held on to and brought them back for a movie. And it's not just cameos either. Like, they played pretty major parts in the movie. I was predicting that the 3 Spider-Men were just going to appear like at the end, just brief cameo for a final fight.
Yeah. I thought like there might be cameos through the movie of them, but like the way they had them, like all 3 of them in there together, like for a good chunk of the movie, like that was a really good idea. I thought.
There's a rumor on the internet that when they first all kitted up, they did like the 60s Spider-Man meme where they're all pointing at each other, and apparently Zendaya's got like the only copy of that photo, so hope that comes to light.
Pretty funny.
Yeah. But again, touching on the cast, I think Willem Dafoe did like it was better than he was in all the original Spider-Man films.
Yeah.
And he put in like an all-time performance, in my opinion. I thought he was fantastic.
Yeah, he was. Yep. That character is so hard to play too. Like to play it right. Like he just the split personality and that. Like it's like click of a finger and he changes his personality.
Because I think in the
it's actually kind of a bit scary actually.
Like
he just switches people like that. It's crazy.
In the Raimi films, we saw more of like his dark side and not so much of like his good side that was struggling, and we got a good balance of that. And like you said, it's scary because when he's first introduced in the film and he's acting all like kind and lost and stuff, you have trust issues, man. You're like, we trusting this guy? He's got something shifty going on.
Yeah, and he does that big smile, and
and that laugh. Yeah, every time he had that laugh, it's just chills.
Green Goblin's like, iconic, man, and yeah, I'm glad that they brought back the same cast because like same as Doc Ock. That dude, I don't know who he plays, but yeah, he does a really good job of it.
I wasn't a big fan of Spider-Man 2, and I didn't really like Doc Ock in that film. I don't know why. I've watched it back when it came out and watched it again in more recent times and just never took to it as much. But I thought, he was real good in that movie.
Yeah, but it's just like we were saying before about the MCU, like other like superhero movies didn't capture like the MCU does. It's different now.
Yeah.
Like them Spider-Mans didn't make us feel like the MCU Spider-Mans does. It's just like the Dark Knight trilogy, like going a bit off topic. It was the same. Like that made you feel like you like felt Batman when he got hurt and that, you know. Yep. And with the Joker and that, how because they were so good at it. Like,
yeah, you became invested in both sides of the story as well, not just
that's right.
Bruce Wayne Batman. You're invested in the villains.
Yep. And to me, like in reading the comics and that, some of my favorite characters are villains.
Yeah.
So like. And like they are a huge part of it, man. Like, and it's like it's the same as like the Infinity War and like Endgame. Like Infinity War to me is still the best MCU movie. Like Thanos wins at the end of it.
Yeah,
that kills them all. They're gone.
Like
they lost.
in film, you always know the good guys come out on top, and then they drop the hammer on him with the snap, and then everyone's just left heartbroken. It's like
everyone's just like,
go home.
What's gonna happen now? Like, this isn't supposed to happen.
That's again with Spider-Man, the heavy endings. Like Spider-Man had sort of a heavy ending as well because
it did.
Tom Holland's been public about how he doesn't want to play Spider-Man forever, and then all of a sudden he's going to play 3 more films, and then in another conversation he's saying he doesn't want to act whatsoever. So the way they've ended that film has left it real open-ended as to...
Yeah, they haven't closed off any doors, have they?
Yeah, they haven't closed off any doors, but at the same time, if that was the last one he appeared in, you kind of feel like it's ended that storyline.
I think he'll be back.
Yeah, he'll definitely be back. I think
he will be.
At a bare minimum, he'll be back in like secondary feature roles, like how he appeared in Civil War, where
surely if they do the Fantastic Four, they have to have Spider-Man in there.
I always get excited about that because of What If #1, where Spider-Man joins the Fantastic Four. So,
Yeah.
and
Well,
then
the first book of the Silver, or like not of the Silver Age of Spider-Man, is he goes to join the Fantastic Four because he wants
yeah,
a job, he wants money. He breaks into their headquarters, beats them up, and they say he can join in. And he goes, "Well, how much do I get paid?" They go, "You don't get paid." And he goes, "Oh no, stuff that," and he jumps back out the window.
we will
I'm not fighting people who are not getting paid.
we'll definitely be touching on Fantastic Four a few times, but going on that as well is we had a brief appearance of Eddie Brock / Venom at the end of Spider-Man, which is indicating he's being added to the MCU.
Yeah, he's in the same universe.
And
you have to, man.
He is a part of the what would you call it? The Flash, where everyone gets returned to their universes, and a little bit of symbiotes left behind. And from memory, I think there's a pretty prominent story arc where Peter Parker has to deal with the symbiote, and he gets help from the Fantastic Four because they run tests on the symbiote, they remove it, tell him, nah, it's no good for you. So that is another possible storyline for Marvel to pursue.
Yep.
But
and how good is Tom Hardy as Venom?
Yeah, he's wicked.
he's so good. Like he's one of my favorite actors, man. Like he's so good as Venom, man. He's unreal.
I was hesitant seeing that film for the first time because people told me it wasn't good, and they're like, "Oh, they try too hard to make it funny." And then I watched it, and I was like, "It's actually funny."
Man,
like,
it's wicked, man.
It had the Marvel Universe. What do you call it? Yeah, it had that shine to it without actually being a part of the universe. Man. It's really unrivaled.
Yeah, I think that's why they're taking so long to announce the Fantastic Four cast as well, aren't they?
Oh yeah, I don't know if they
don't want to get it wrong.
Have they rumored any cast for that yet?
They have rumored a few people, and they're not really big names either. Like they're not like
that's what they're good for, though. Like
small names, but yeah,
smaller names or people who like you'd think they're done with acting, like Robert Downey Jr. Everyone thought his career was over.
Yeah,
and that just became like the Marvel story. Really, is turning people into superstars.
Yeah, and Iron Man really got the whole MCU going.
Yeah.
If that film was like a flop, you don't know what would happen.
Even still, when they were talking about they were going to make a huge ensemble movie with the Avengers, I was like, nah, not in this salary cap, mate.
Yeah, it's crazy as well because you think like the Fantastic Four would be like close to the first, but I think because all the rights they sold for years ago didn't they? And then they've only just got them back.
Yeah.
No, it's good. They've still got so many characters they can bring in, so many things they can do. They've got 60 years worth of comics they can make stories out of.
Speaking of casting and introductions and stuff, I did like when Electro was talking about how he thought Peter Parker was going to be African American, which is a hint to Miles Morales. Because I'm pretty sure they've cast someone for a live action film.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, if Tom Holland doesn't appear as the next Spider-Man, they can hand over to Miles Morales for a little bit while he goes and does other acting things.
Yeah.
And there's also I think we talked on the way out last night about characters we thought would be in the film but weren't because their characters are actually there. There's an Asian student in his class who she's meant to become Silk, and I think she's got her own TV show coming. But
really,
I thought she'd make another cameo, but she hasn't appeared since Homecoming.
Oh, yep.
Because she's a part of like that debate team they've got.
The thing with Spider-Man, man, there is so many villains. There's so many people. Like Gwen Stacy wasn't even in this trilogy, was she? Like there was nothing about her.
Like a new Gwen Stacy.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, because of that, the way things ended with MJ, that leaves the
yeah.
door open.
Like,
And then people like,
the Kingpin, like, they want to bring the Kingpin in and stuff like that. Like,
yeah, that's another one. Like Daredevil had his brief cameo, which, uh,
yeah.
um, I
I
know,
was actually a bit shocked at.
I caught that because I saw someone congratulating him on being a part of the MCU because apparently
Okay.
they
Yeah.
knew Daredevil was going to come back, but they didn't expect the original actor to reprise his role. They thought they were going to start from
Oh,
scratch because his TV show isn't part of the MCU canon.
yeah.
Um,
No, it's not.
but that's cool because one of the big things we'll try and move a bit away from Spider-Man and talk about what's going to be ahead for MCU's entirety. Because the Fantastic Four have they team up with so many characters across the Marvel universe that, in my opinion, they're going to be the big ensemble if you want to replace the Avengers, because I don't think they'll go for
Yeah.
new Avengers straight away.
Nah, the Fantastic Four are Marvel's first family. You didn't have the Fantastic Four, you don't have Spider-Man, you don't have Thor, you don't have anyone.
Yeah,
They're the ones who, like, when Jack Kirby and Stan Lee done it, they were the ones that they were the comic that made Marvel into Marvel.
yeah,
Marvel's first family, like the first appearances, like the Silver Surfer, Galacticus, Black Panther, like they're all Submariner, Doctor Doom. They've all come from Fantastic Four.
yep. And then
Like
a lot
some
of
of the
those
biggest characters.
characters, they do get to collab with the Fantastic Four, which just
Yeah.
opens so many possibility for film.
Yep. Like Ant-Man and Wasp. I think like Ant-Man's like third appearances in like Fantastic Four 16 or something like that.
And I think it's going to be a real good one for like the older heads,
Yeah.
who might not have taken to the Avengers, like that whole part of the universe, because the Fantastic Four will appeal to more of the older fans as well, I reckon.
Yeah.
And drag them
And
back in, create a bigger monster.
there's one thing that like no one's like kind of talking about is in the Fantastic Four run, there's 3 times where the Hulk versus the Thing, man. Imagine
Yeah,
seeing that in the MCU. I can't wait for that, man. Like, that'd be fucking nuts.
I think Hulk becomes he essentially turns heel on several occasions, and I think
Yeah.
one of those has to do with the multiverse, like
Yep.
because he gets tucked away in that little multiverse area that Doctor Strange has. Can't remember what it's called. And as we know, probably the next big thing is Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. I know there's Morbius that got delayed because they didn't want it competing with Spider-Man, and
Yeah.
I don't really know how he's going to fit in. He's kind of like he's not really the biggest villain in the Spider-Man universe, so it's a bit weird. I know that there's going to be cameos from like Black Cat and stuff, so maybe it's just like a stepping stone to introduce more characters and tee things up.
But they got so much going on. Like they're redoing Blade, they're redoing X-Men.
Yeah, X-Men's going to be interesting.
How are they gonna integrate like X-Men with Fantastic Four as well? Are they gonna bring the Avengers back and have that fight like they did in like FF26? The
Imagine
Avengers
that.
versus Fantastic Four.
Well,
Like,
the way they're teeing things up is like because of all the new changeover of characters. It looks like at some stage they're going to do the new Avengers.
yeah. Well, it's a pretty popular comic, isn't it?
Yeah, and everyone just loves it. Like it's like having a festival and you got like the 4 biggest bands in the world like all playing for $100.
Yeah. Well, so many times during like the years, like in the original like Avengers run, the team changed as well.
Yeah,
So
there's
they
a
could do
lot
another
of
Avengers movie with a different team.
yeah, there's a lot of different interpretations of it. Same with X-Men. X-Men's got
Yeah.
a lot of different
Yep.
interpretations. And then
Yeah.
yeah, you could even include again the Fantastic Four and whoever's been picked up for a collaboration along the way. It's like a different team.
got Black Panther 2 and Thor coming out soon too.
Yeah,
I'd,
Love and
I'd love to
Thunder.
I'd
That's
love
going to
to
be
see
interesting.
like how they interact. They join Doctor Strange's multi-universe into Thor's new movie and Black Panther. I don't know. I don't know if they'll
Yeah,
interact them.
I think it's a hard one because we don't really know what's going on with Black Panther. We don't know
Yeah,
who's going to be the new Black Panther.
yeah,
There's a lot of drama on set, like with Shuri apparently being sacked. Apparently she's in the movie. Apparently they're refilming her parts because they're
hell,
and she was hotly tipped to be the next Black Panther, being so
yeah,
close to Black Panther in the film. And then since her drama's been going on, there's been a lot of chat about M'Baku, the exiled one, to step up and take over, which I think would be pretty cool. But
yeah.
again, we don't know. We're essentially guessing.
No, yep. Mm.
That's something
It's
Marvel
kind of
does well.
sad though, because the original like Black Panther, I think is like one of the top three, top four best MCU movies.
Yeah,
Like
it was good.
it's unreal, like that movie. Like you have to really watch it like 3 or 4 times to really appreciate it. I think, but
I loved it.
yeah,
I went to watch that at the cinema, and I was in love with it. Like it's done so perfectly. Like the tension between him and Killmonger, like the
yeah,
environment, the visuals, the choreography, like even like the soundtrack
story,
is perfectly captured as well.
yeah,
And
it's
then
really
again,
good at
it's
that.
got that Marvel charm as well, with
Yeah,
like
and the gloss.
the subtle humor, which I don't know if
Yeah,
DC it's right, but they're so serious. Like all their films are just doom
yeah.
and gloom. Not allowed
Mm.
to smile.
No, that's small.
I did. Oh yeah, Love and Thunder is going to be interesting as well because
Yeah.
that's going to be Jane Foster as Thor. So,
What?
because Jane Foster is currently Thor, so it's going to be that. So it's going to be Natalie Portman coming back.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Um,
Yep.
I'm not sure if this is like she gets real sick while being Thor. I think I'm not too sure, but I
Is
don't
that
know.
that's after Doctor Strange, isn't it? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think that's a bit more later in the
Uh,
year.
yeah, it is.
But yeah, again, like all these characters are changing over. It's going to be interesting. Like we don't have Iron Man anymore. We're going to Iron Heart. We don't know where Mark Ruffalo's Hulk stands, or if he's going to still be Smart Hulk. But they've got She-Hulk, like
Yeah, they got the
becoming
TV
such a
show.
main
Yeah.
story. There's
Got
also
Secret Invasion coming too.
yeah, and also with Black Widow and her sister, because Black Widow obviously is gone now, and her sister's a part
Yep.
of main storylines. There's, I know you're still in the process of watching it, but there's changing the guard in Hawkeye as well, which they don't actually confirm anything, but you can put two and
Oh, you
two
can see
together.
that coming.
Yeah,
Yeah, 100%. You see
and
that
and they've
coming.
started a new run of Kate Bishop, Hawkeye as well, so that's pretty much just
Yeah,
promoting it. And then again, like we just had a bit of a chit chat about how they're going to proceed with Spider-Man. There could be a changing of the guard there as well.
yeah. Right. Yeah, so they got Love and Thunder, Thor, Love and Thunder, and Black Panther this year. Supposedly this year.
What about TV shows as well? Is Moon
Mm,
Knight this year? 'Cause we
yes, I'm pretty sure. Yep,
because
2022
he's going to be MCU,
season
but
one, and She-Hulk and Miss Marvel and Secret Invasion. They're doing Secret Invasion as a um series. Nick
yeah, right.
Fury be like the dude in it.
Yeah, the way they've been doing TV shows again, we didn't even think of that straight away. just how that expands everything as well.
Yeah, there's more to watch, man.
Because have you seen WandaVision? Were we talking about that last night?
Yeah, I've seen a couple of episodes. I haven't watched it all yet. I
There's
find it a bit grindy to watch.
yeah, definitely. It's definitely a bit of a chore. We watched it because it was in a period of time where we had nothing else to watch, so we just watched it, and we did end up enjoying it. I won't lie, but those first few episodes, you just what the hell is going on? But there's without. I don't want to spoil it for you, but there's a character in there who appears later on, which she is in some renditions of the Avengers as a character. So I don't know if that's their intention or if they're just playing silly buggers.
I don't know how they do all this and manage it all in this, with all these people and storylines and that.
Yeah,
They must just have people working on this constantly.
Kevin Feige's got a lot to do with it, eh?
Yeah.
He needs a statue outside Disney World or something, man.
Or a holiday.
I think that's what I was reading about X-Men. They were saying they don't know what he has planned, but they have full trust in leaving it up to him.
Did you see that rumors that they reckon in the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, like for like Christmas this year, they're gonna drop like the Silver Surfer or Doctor Doom in it?
What one do you see like as more achievable? Do you think?
Well, I'd say Doctor Doom. That would fit better because the Silver Surfer's Galactus's servant to start with. Like his master is Galactus, and then he breaks away from Galactus. Like has enough of him.
Yeah.
So like it kind of ruins the story and like sets it back a bit if they put just the Silver Surfer straight in there, unless like he's there like doing what he's supposed to do is go to other planets and look so Galactus can eat him or whatever he does to him.
Yeah.
Sucks the drain life out of him. But you could easily put like Doctor Doom as a little cameo in somewhere. It would be easier. If
they do Doctor Doom before they've even done a Fantastic Four movie, assuming that it's in order on the timeline, does that mean the Fantastic Four film's possibly not going to be origin film first up?
They'll have to. They'll do the origin of it. The origin of it is them getting their powers and going through the rays and stuff in space, and they'll do all that.
All right.
That's like iconic. I reckon they'll have to do that. It'd be weird if they don't.
It makes sense why they're being so cautious then, because the origin story's already been done twice, and like they do cop a lot of flack, but they weren't as bad as people make them out.
No, but like it's just the same like we were saying before, man. If they get the right cast, this is why they're taking so long. Get the right cast, get the right script, right story for them. They'll be fine. Get that MCU gloss and glamour on them. They'll be fine.
That's it. That's another thing I always think of is like you always, well, in the back of my mind, you just think not every Marvel film is going to be a banger, but I don't think they've really dropped the ball. I think
I haven't seen Eternals yet, but
I haven't seen Eternals yet.
A lot of people don't like it, but
I wasn't too G'd up for it.
Or the sheep too.
Yeah, I wasn't real hyped up for it. Like, we watched all the promos and stuff. Weren't real keen to run to the cinemas, but it's going to be on Disney Plus soon. So thank the Lord for streaming services.
You know what I'm actually keen for is Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
That's going to be interesting
because they're bringing him into it.
Oh, really?
Well, everyone knows. Everyone knows him as Adam Warlock.
Yeah. Is he going to be introduced as him first?
Well, you've already seen his cocoon in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. It's an Easter egg. His cocoon's in the back when they're talking to the market dude, like the
Really?
Yeah, you see his cocoon. Yeah.
I didn't. I don't think I liked Guardians of the Galaxy 2 as a film, so I think I've only watched it once or twice.
Guardians of the Galaxy, I reckon it's wicked.
The first one was just so good though.
Yeah. James Gunn's a really good director too.
Yeah.
And he's doing that holiday special, so I don't know.
I think it might have been him that was talking about X-Men. I don't know. I don't know. That name pops into my head for some reason.
I don't know who's doing X-Men. That's another one that they have to tread carefully with, eh?
Yeah. Well, it's weird that all the old X-Men films up until now, they somehow managed to tie them all together. I don't even know if that was their intention.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, like off the top of my head, I haven't read a lot of X-Men. I don't have a lot of X-Men. Is that Wolverine isn't in the original X-Men? I'm pretty sure he comes in Hulk 181.
Yeah, I think he comes later.
Yeah. So
Um,
like, are they going to bring him straight into the MCU X-Men, or are they going to wait? Or
and then talking about him per se, the current Wolverine's female, so I don't know if they'll follow that as well because they've already done the whole
yeah.
X-Men run
Oh yeah.
with Logan, and
Yeah.
that was iconic in himself. I don't know if they'll want to do that again, even though it's not part of MCU.
Yeah. Mm.
But
Are they going to call it the Uncanny X-Men too, or are they just going to call it the X-Men?
yeah, maybe. You don't know.
I don't know.
It'll probably just be called
Yeah.
X-Men, and then they'll do like some cheeky homage to it, like just referencing them in the movie, and everyone's like, it's a reference.
Yeah. Just like when they say in Spider-Man, great powers comes great responsibilities, or whatever it is.
Yeah, better be careful and not cry. as soon as May said that last night, I like grabbed Chelsea's hand and like looked at her, and she was just looking at me like, "What the hell?" I'm like, "It means she's gonna die."
Yeah.
But with everything Marvel's doing like so perfectly, can DC catch up? Do you reckon?
No. Oh, yes, but
It's hard
they
to
just
envision.
they don't have the depth. Like, they don't have the depth.
I think they were almost on the right path with their Justice League, and then
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad copped like so much attention, and apparently the new one's good as well. I haven't seen that one yet,
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet either.
but yeah, that was popping off. But then Superman quit to go do the Witcher TV shows, so they've lost like their biggest like main name, you could say.
Yeah.
And then I seen this morning that Ben Affleck totally hated filming Justice League, and I think he's in the Flash movie, and he said that's the last time he's appearing as Batman. And then we've got the new Batman coming in, and
Which actually looks good.
it does look good. I think a lot of people don't want to give it that attention because it's Edward Cullen as Bruce Wayne. But I think it's going to catch people off guard. But I don't know if he's going to
stuff like that. It's like you're judging someone on a character they haven't played before. You haven't seen them play before.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're ready to say, nah, he's going to be shit at it.
It's almost as bad as typecasting and seeing someone in another film and being like, oh, they're always going to be James Bond to me.
Yeah. No, he's an actor, dude. He's not.
But I don't know if their plan is to incorporate him into an MCU type run, or if they're going to focus on Batman universe and just build on that. Because I think there's two villains, at least.
They're doing the Green Lantern again too, eh?
Are they?
Yeah, they are. Apparently, it's supposed to be good. Like the way they've done the cast and everything.
That's didn't hate
red light
the Green Lantern movie.
But yeah, I don't like the Green Lantern as a character. Like, to be honest,
I don't like Green Lantern. I think
I don't like a lot of DC characters. I think that's their problem. They don't have like a proper plan. They've got like a kind of plan, but they just don't have the depth and characters like Marvel has. Like they just redo Batman every 10 years and they go, oh, there we go.
Yeah, and the best Batman films weren't even canon. Like they were original stories.
No.
I just think back to high school, and I read more of DC than anything back then. I didn't read a lot on Marvel. And my best mate said to me, he was like, why? DC, I won't repeat what he said, but he essentially said DC sucks. And then
Yeah.
I was real butthurt, and he explained, like, I don't know, Marvel's all like heroes saving the day, everyone's happy, cheering and
Yeah.
stuff, but Marvel tend to deal with a lot of heavier issues and darker topics, and that's probably where I started reading more Marvel.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, do you know the story about how they killed Gwen Stacy in the ASM runs?
Yeah.
Stan Lee went on holidays and they killed her.
Oh no, I thought you meant like how she died in the comics.
He came back. I watched the interview and he goes, I was actually like physically pissed. Because she was one of my favourite characters and they come back and they've killed her.
It's funny because for all the love that like Stanley and Ditko get, like a lot of people don't know how much shit they put up with Marvel, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I read somewhere that
how much drama actually Stan Lee caused too, like between him and Jack Kirby and other things.
I read somewhere that Stan Lee ahead of his time was like a what do you call it? LBGTQ, is that correct? But he was like an ally in like the 80s, and because the world wasn't so open-minded back then, they were like, nah, we got to get rid of him. I think it might have been after a comment where he said one of the X-Men, it wouldn't matter if they were gay or something.
Okay.
And then he was like heavily ostracized by Marvel back then because of that.
But a lot of things with like him as well, he was putting his name still on stories he wasn't writing and books that he wasn't like putting any effort into. He was off trying to make Marvel into what Marvel is now.
Yeah.
But that's where like a big rift become him and Jack Kirby and others. I think he cares as well. Because they're like, well, why is Stan getting his name put on this when he's doing nothing for the book? Like,
is that where they
Jack Kirby did leave.
They ended up changing it to the crediting being like based on characters created by.
Yeah. And
the whole thing by.
But like, yeah, because they used to do story, drawings, and ink.
Yeah.
Because that's where Jack Kirby cracked the shits, I think, and left. But then he came back to Marvel anyway and did the Internals.
Yep. Just to move on from copious amount of MCU chat, which also ties into.
Talk about the MCU of day, eh? Crazy.
It's going to tie into it anyway because we're going to do a bit of chat about what we've been buying and chasing. And Turbo is a heavy collector, and his collection's it's froth worthy, man.
I don't buy any comics, man.
Yeah, it's our mate Dico. He logs into our eBay and he spends our money, and then we get in trouble.
Yeah. I'll do an overtime shift at work so I can go buy a nice slab.
But what have you been chasing / buying at the moment?
I've actually been chasing one particular slab in particular really, really hard, and it is FF52, the first appearance of the Black Panther. I want to get it before the next film comes out before it goes another skyrocket because it's very pricey.
Absolutely bananas.
But I had a serious case of FOMO the other week.
Yeah.
One got uploaded, CBCS 3.0. I'm happy with the 3.0. Like, because I'm not looking about reselling it at the moment. None of that.
Yeah.
I seen it and I could get it from America. I could get it for $7.50 Australian, which is a pretty good price, I thought.
Yeah.
I was like, hum and hawing. I was like, I'll think about it because it was around Christmas too. I thought I'll think about it. Have a night's sleep on it. Follow it on eBay. Check it every couple of hours, see if it's been sold. Woke up in the morning, it was sold, and I just felt FOMO straight away, and I was just like, why didn't I fucking buy it? Why did I not buy that comic?
Just absolutely kick yourself, hey?
Yeah, Black Panther's one of my favourite characters too, and I've got like the other ones after it, and it's just like, and I've got the ones before it, and it's just like that's the last piece I need in there, and I didn't get it. But
Are you specifically chasing it as a slab, or are you happy to buy it raw and then send it
I
away?
want to get it as a slab because it's this. I've got too many at the moment that I need to send away to get graded. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna
We'll,
buy the
we'll
slab.
touch on grading a bit after as well. That's another topic in itself.
But I have recently bought some new Fantastic Fours as well. Actually, got 39. It's a picture of Doctor Doom and Daredevil on the front.
That's a wicked cover.
Yeah.
And then Daredevil getting lots of hype as well after his little cameo.
Yeah.
And then,
And this is the third time they fight Hulk in the Thing.
yeah, you just touched on that before. Possibility
Yeah.
that could happen.
This is.
I'd be insane.
Yeah. That'd be actually huge in the MCU. That'd be a massive scene.
You think about how nuts people went over Hulkbuster versus Hulk.
Yeah.
Thing versus Hulk would just skyrocket.
And I've been collecting the Fantastic Four annuals as well. I do have number 1 as well. Yeah.
Yeah, you were telling me about it recently because I bought the anniversary tribute where every page is done by like a different artist and telling me the whole story about it before I even read it.
Yeah, and these ones here I'm actually going to get sent away for grading this week and pressed. This is Fantastic Four number 16, 4th appearance of the Doctor Doom, first crossover with Ant-Man to the Fantastic Four, 3rd appearance of Wasp. It's actually pretty like it's a reasonable, affordable key. I won't get into prices.
Yeah.
And I got this is Fantastic Four 23.
Yep.
Picture of Doctor Doom. He's got the Fantastic Four locked in a room. I just love Doom. He's my favorite villain. One of my favorite MCU characters from Marvel.
Yeah, I
characters.
reckon our messenger chat, if it's not, look at this affordable key. It's Doctor Doom cover. Look how sick it is.
Them two there. I'm probably going to send the Fantastic Four Annual 3 to get away graded too. Oh, might as well just get it graded if I'm paying money to get these other ones done.
Yeah.
I'm going to get this done before Guardians comes out. Origin of him.
Yep. Mr. Adam Warlock.
I reckon my 16.
Yep.
Press is going to get probably a 4.0, 5.0. That's decent. My 23, I reckon we'll get a 7. That's good. My 66, the origin of him, probably a 6.0, 5.0. But this one here, the beauty of the lot.
Oh, with his cocoon.
Yeah, the first full appearance of him, who later becomes Adam Warlock.
Such a clean cover as well. Like those older covers where it's such a predominant color like that. Everything's white there, but they've managed to keep in good nick over the years. It's not dirty or nothing.
No. So with the press and cleaner, I reckon this would get an 8.0. But this could push a 9.
Yeah.
Really in good condition. And this is another absolute beauty of a cover. Classic Jack Kirby, actually. Classic Jack Kirby. Picture of Silver Surfer. FF72. Watcher in the background.
That's another one where its color is held up well.
Yeah. You get the idea. Remember this comes from like 1966, I think? 67? Could be.
Older than my parents.
Crazy, man. It's in the art as well. The classic Jack Kirby art, man. It's just unreal. So I'll send them off to CBCS, not CGC. Because they got better turnaround times.
Yeah.
And
so
when you do international as well, we can only do certain things when you're international, especially from Australia.
As in, like, restrictions on what you can send?
Or? Yes. Well, like what you can, like what service you can get.
Yeah.
The CBCS pretty much only do quick stream. So you're looking at probably, to get it graded, you're looking at about $90 a comic.
Wow.
But that turnaround is 8 weeks. So that's pretty good.
Is that still holding up to like that schedule at the moment?
Well, I just sent my 4 biggest books to CBCS, and they've got them, and I've paid for the grading and everything already. And I sent them like a week before Christmas.
That's mental. Because you've got books away at CGC as well, don't you?
Yeah, I got some of the Last Ronin because I wanted to get them slabbed because I love my Ninja Turtles and I love that series. That's one of the only modern series I really like.
Yeah.
But then ones at CBCS are like my big ones. They're Fantastic Four Annual Number 1, 48, 49, 50, the big trilogy. They're the big ones.
Yep. And what's the turnaround time been on your CGC book so far?
Like, if I see him this year, I'll be happy. I sent him like August last year.
And this is all because of everything going on in the world. Like, did they shut up shop for a bit?
I think they did, but like, this is their demand now. Like, the comic book collecting is just gone through the roof in the last 2 years. Like,
yeah, there's definitely.
I used to think like books were like $1,500. It's like, whew, a bit steep.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I need to send one to CGC because they do magazines the best. If you get any Ninja Turtles and that, they count them as magazines. They don't count them as comic. They count them as a magazine.
Yeah, and they have the thicker slabs as well, do they? That'd be one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because they're obviously a magazine, they're bigger as well.
I've seen it mentioned like people are changing to CBCS because they like the appearance of the slab better, as well as the not having to wait over a year to get their book back.
Yeah.
And that in itself is probably making the brand a lot more, giving them a lot more prestige and more appealing. Well, it can't forever be just one brand in the market.
No, it can't. And people are like 6 months ago, you said to them, I got a CBCS slab of like, third appearance of Doctor Doom.
They'd cut it off.
I'm like, no, I'm not getting that. Like, I'm not buying that. You got to knock $100 off that. But now, like, it's starting to change already because, like, the bigger people in the comic book world are starting to go to them.
Yeah.
And now people are starting to realize it. In another 8 months, 10 months, it won't matter if it's CGC or CBS. People won't say a difference. It'll just it's a slab.
And if people care enough, if it's got a good grade on it and they care so much about what little badge is in the corner, they can just send it to the other company and get it re-slabbed and have a decent amount of confidence that it's going to get whereabouts the same grade or possibly
the amount of money
better.
It costs to get pressed and slabbed, it doesn't matter if it has to be CBCS or CGC, not PGX, but CBCS have the best slabs though, best quality slabs.
Yeah.
And they do stop a bit of the blue light and UV lights onto the slab, onto the comic too.
Yeah, so the colours don't fade.
Yeah, they don't give you the rings that the CGC slabs do. They give you like a little blue ring.
Are they waterproof, those slabs as well? Have I seen that on YouTube?
Yes. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I reckon it was that Mint Hunter collector when he had that big flood span. His slabs are like going down the road. Man. He's like running in and grabbing them.
He's done well though. Like
this poor bloke, man. Like, he's chasing his slabs down the road.
A collector / content creator we follow had a flood, had to sell, lost some of his collection, had to sell another part of his collection to fix his house. And a month later, he's running a stall giving away free Batman comics, like some pretty important comics as well. It's like, I think it was you that said that's just type of guy he is, and definitely do with a lot of those people in the world.
No, and he's like he give quizzes to the kids now, and they wouldn't get it right.
Like the kid who he got it wrong, and his mate got it right, and he's like, "Here, have one for your mate." He looks sad.
Yeah, but he's like massively DC Marveled a lot.
Yeah, because he collects heavily Green Lantern, I reckon.
Yeah, he does. He's obsessed with Green Lantern. Don't know why.
It's a special breed, isn't it? Like, it seems like the people who like Green Lantern love Green Lantern. It's not like read him every now and then.
Nah, you have to
dabble in
love
a
it.
bit.
No.
Yeah, I think Fire Guy Ryan's like heavy Green Lantern as well. And I don't, whenever I see him on a show, I swear he doesn't like anything.
What's a Green Lantern, man? What else is he gonna like? Obviously miserable. What about you? Are you gonna buy any? I know you like your ASMs. You gonna buy any?
Yeah, I don't chase a lot of like massive keys. I'm just not in that position to be. I think also because the people that I like, if I'm gonna chase keys, I'm gonna have to like get a mortgage.
Yeah, it's definitely the wrong time to buy any Spider-Man comics, to be honest.
Yeah, leading up to No Way Home, I was frothing hard that Ned was gonna at some point, whether it was a major plot twist or a hint at him becoming the Hobgoblin. So I started buying a few Hobgoblin keys. Aside from that,
I didn't click on that. I didn't click onto that until like the second film, eh?
yeah,
I was like, why is this dude called Ned?
yeah, it's a pretty specific name for a Filipino guy. But yeah, I've picked up a few minor keys. Just the week gone, I bought second appearance of Black Cat.
It's funny you say that as well, because remember when I think Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man was talking to him
about how they're best friends.
Yeah, and then he goes, "Yeah, like,
yeah,
I won't kill you."
Oh, Peter, I promise I won't kill you.
Yeah, and then it's just like, and he's like, "Yeah, he might actually turn into the Goblin."
And then he like walked off, and walked off the screen. It's like, is it going to get changed right now? Yeah, again, we can go back to that film, the way it ended, where he has no knowledge of his friendship. Potentially him and MJ could get a bit too close, and Peter gets a bit too jealous. He's possessed by some symbiote, who knows? But yeah, I haven't been chasing a lot. I did get Marvel Presents number 8, I think, the other day. I don't have it in hand yet. It's a 4th appearance of Ghost Rider, because Ghost Rider's...
Yeah.
I don't know if anything's set in stone other than the fact that they are planning to do something Ghost Rider, and...
Yeah, they are.
Norman Reedus is like putting his hand up for it, I read, and I think he's a pretty sick actor. I've been a bit of fan of his since I watched Boondock Saints as a kid.
But they're redoing Blade as well.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. They said who's gonna be Blade.
I don't know if it was true or not, but I did see something the other day, and I didn't know who the actor was. Or it didn't like ring a bell, but they did say something. I don't know. It's too far away. Like,
I remember reading about Wesley Snipes getting shitty. I think he wanted.
Yeah, because he wanted to come back, but they're not letting him.
Like, bro, you're a bit old now.
Yeah, you're like 90 in jail, bro. Relax. They're probably worried about him not paying his taxes again or something.
We don't need that attention around Disney. We're already breaching the salary cap. But yeah, I haven't been chasing any big keys, and not. I wouldn't mind sending books away when things calm down, but I'm not hugely frothing over at the moment. Like, all my stuff, I don't. I'm pretty much a hoarder. Like, you could say I'm collecting, but I never really intend on selling things. So it's just hoarding.
Like that too, man. I've got a few keys of like collections I don't really like. Well, I don't like, but I like them. But I could part ways with them.
Yeah,
like, I've got Iron Premier, like Marvel 15 Premier 15. Like, I've got first appearance of Iron Fist and stuff like that.
Yep.
I've got ASM keys I could probably actually slab and get rid of and make money and buy more Fantastic Four stuff. But
I bought them a while ago, but something I chased heaps for ages was the original Aliens comics, and like, I got my hands on them. I'd probably send them away to get put in plastic, but I wouldn't want to resell them, and I don't think they'd ever pop off to an amount where it's like, I'm gonna have life-changing money from this. It's just something to preserve, and I've seen it at in displays before, you can get frames that perfectly fit the slabs and just chuck them on a wall and like a man cave or something would look sick.
With no windows.
Yeah, no windows. And
no windows. Just full black room and turn the light on 15 minutes a day.
Yeah, candles only, please. Black lights.
That's too dangerous.
Yeah. Candle 15 minutes a day and you tip it over.
There's another big book I need to send away, and I've been lazy about sending away. Because I've gone through the service of CGC and how much it's going to cost me.
Yeah.
Has stopped me from doing it, and that is TMNT number 1.
Yes.
Second print. It's a second print, but a second print's only a 6K run, and there's only 560 graded in the world.
And what's mental is that I'll let you tell the story about how it got to you, but the thing is it got in your hands, and it wouldn't be the first thing you did, but maybe third or fourth thing you did is you brought it around my house so I could look at it, and I was just holding it in my hands like appreciative for it, but it sucks that you had to take it home. But
I got that for
tell
a
the
good
story
price
of that.
too. I always wanted that book years ago. When I started collecting comics, I collected Ninja Turtles. I love Ninja Turtles. That's my favorite. Like, I don't know, superheroes, whatever you want to call them. Grew up with them, loved them. Loved the original comics. Could never afford to, like, obviously buy them. So I read them on my phones and stuff like that. And then I've worked a lot. Had a house and that. And I was like, I'm going to do something for myself for once. And I actually started getting into, that's when I started getting into comics. And I got 2 and 3 signature series signed by Kevin Eastman.
Yep.
I got, and then I got 7, 8, 9, or 8, 9, 10, and now I've bought the rest of them. All I need is 4. But when I was buying these comics, there was a slab, a 9.0 or a 9.2 first print of Ninja Turtles, going for $8,000. I seriously thought about buying it.
Kicking yourself later down the track.
Yeah. Probably the biggest case of FOMO I ever had in my life, and probably will ever have in my life. I didn't think I could spend that money on a comic book, but now I look back on how much money I've spent on comic books. I think maybe I probably could have. I should have.
And if you had bought it then compared to now, how much money would you have saved, do you reckon?
I don't want to talk about it. It's a $100,000 book.
Yeah.
Like, if I bought a higher grade, if I paid the extra, like, I could pay $10,000 probably to get a 9.6 or something.
Yep.
$150,000 book now, $180,000 book US.
Ridiculous.
I was worried about paying $8,000.
You could have bought a house with that money.
I actually could have sold this comic now and sold my collection and bought a house in the Gold Coast or somewhere.
Yeah.
And not have to get a job. Could have done the Kevin Smith route and then sold my collection, paid for my dreams, and then got my collection back.
Yeah. And make your own comics in the meantime.
Yeah. But nah. I ended up getting a second printing. When I sold my house and I'm going to move in the next couple of weeks, I saved more money and I said to myself and my partner that I have to get this comic now. Now it has to happen. I can't not, because if it keeps going up, like I'm never going to get it.
Yeah.
And a dude in Adelaide was selling a second print. It's a bit rough, to be honest. Could get a better condition one, but what I paid for it was good. And if it's authentic, I think it's authentic second print because people can be dodgy with them. But I need to get it sent away, pressed, cleaned, and sent away. And I think it'll be a 780. I'm hoping for a 7 or 80. And that's I'm not going to resell that comic ever. Probably.
Yeah.
I'm actually taking that to the grave with me.
It's more about just preserving its quality forever, isn't it?
Yeah, and making it. If I need to ever sell it or want to sell it, I can.
Yeah, never even thought of that. Like sometimes sacrifices do get made, and it helps if you can get top dollar for it.
Yeah, like well, when we were like 60 or something, man, we got all this comic book collection. Like, all right, I've had it for 30, 40 years. Time to part ways with it. I can retire on it, man.
Yeah.
Hopefully, but you don't know. It could be worth $100 in 10 years.
Be like that.
You don't know.
Who? What they call that collection? That auction recently?
Or that prestige, that pedigree one where they found
Yeah.
like the
So
6,000 comics from the 40s in that dude's attic.
yeah, and like
That one.
he went off to war and he told his brother, "Look after my
Yeah,
comics for when I get back."
yeah.
And
Look after my funny book.
sadly, he never come back from war, but his brother kept everything in mint condition. And
Yeah,
this auction was like so massive that you had to prove you could afford like an 100 grand bid to be allowed to attend
yeah,
this auction.
yeah. That was crazy watching like the first, and there was like 5,000 books or something they sent to
Yeah.
CGC to get slabbed. No wonder it's taken a year to get my shit books back.
It's just, man, they would have like
Like,
10
push
issues
the
of the same
minions to
book.
the side. Let this in.
They'd have 10 issues of the same book, and the colors are just like fresh off the
They
print.
were like 90 pluses from like the 40s, man.
Yeah,
Unheard of.
like it's impressive that you could keep something.
Weren't in bag and boards either.
Yeah, that like you could. It's amazing you could keep something in that condition
Crazy,
these
man.
days, knowing that
Crazy.
if you keep it in good nick, there's going to be value. But this is like decades ago. Like there was no massive market for this. I want to know what this guy's attic's like.
Well, it must not have any rats or mouse or anything in there, man. Like, wonder what he stored them in and that. Like, he's probably gone a good couple of years ago now, that bloke who, like, the brother. Because this was like the 30s they did it. 30s, 40s? Late 40s?
You'd
Yeah,
have
I
to
reckon it
be
was World War II.
if the brother went off to war. Yeah, you have to be at least teenager.
Because I'm pretty sure it was the grandkids that sold them, eh?
Yeah, that'd make more sense. And
Yeah,
his like 90-year-old brother would be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna throw these up in an auction."
I seen the first three go for auction, and the lowest one went for 90 grand. They were 300k up in the first like.
I don't think
books, man. It was nuts.
I don't think they were like massive books either. It was just the fact they've held their condition for so long,
and they got the CGC pedigree collection on there too.
Yeah, because it doesn't have the blue, does it? It's like a bronze label.
Yeah,
pretty,
bronzy
very
green,
pretty.
like very rare to see in any CGC slab.
Yeah, like I said at the very start, I don't chase a lot of older books. I do occasionally, nothing major, but I prefer to every week get my new releases. The store I buy from very kind and attach a pack of lollies to it, and that's the only reason why my wife hasn't killed me, because she gets to steal the lollies. But is there anything you've been reading in terms of like up-to-date stuff? I know me and you have both been enjoying Newburn, which
yeah, that's good, man. Eh? Different kind of comic.
Yeah,
I like it, man.
It's picking up on that detective noir and
I love
mafia
vibes.
Stuff too. Yeah,
I love my mafia stuff, man.
Yeah, like that book. I don't know if you've followed along, but I reckon it'd make an awesome TV show. He's such a like kick-ass character.
Yeah, it would, man. Such a need like a bit of a ex-mobster to get in on that TV show.
Yeah,
to find down how like a Italian dude back in the 90s and 80s would talk and act.
Yeah,
then you'd get a real good show, I think.
Look, just like the fact he works for, essentially he's a detective who works for the crime families, and it doesn't matter who's hired him. They all have like this common fear / respect for Newburn.
Yeah,
and he's just got that old detective TV show wit about him as well. So
yeah, well, they're just using him as like a middleman, so the other families, they know the other families if they're like betraying him and not listening, following the rules and stuff like that.
Yep. Yeah,
Because like, if you know anything about Mafia, it's a real Cosa Nostra is a real technical game, like of like chess,
yeah,
man. You break a rule, like technically, if you do something wrong, like that's it.
yeah.
You lie or break a murder. Yeah.
And
No, I
then
think that's what they're trying to get in the background of the comic. I feel it.
because uh, it's good. Like I never ventured away from a lot of Marvel and DC, and now that I'm in a position to afford more, that I can read more, it's good to look at what other companies have to offer. Like another
Yeah.
good one, which I know we're both reading, is Last Flight Out. That's
Yeah.
another one where
That's
it's like, what's the word? Like it's consuming you as you read it. Like you just become so
yeah.
invested, and
Yep.
everything's so relatable. Like it's in the future, and it's
Very
like
relatable.
sci-fi, but it's believable at the same time. So I think they've pulled that off well.
Yeah, definitely believable. Definitely believable, and when you read it, you're just like, hang on, guys, this could actually happen. Stop. Yeah, it started scaring me a little bit, bro. Stop.
Not one to read before bedtime.
Yeah, like it's just like they're talking about. Was it the ozone layer breaking down and for
Yeah,
everything?
I've
Like
seen this
everyone,
on TV, man. It's happening.
it's just like, oh no, man. We're all gonna be getting on a big arc in
Yeah,
20 years.
yeah, we've screwed up. We're not getting on
Elon
the
Musk
arc.
is gonna be Elon Musk is gonna be piling it.
And then there's the people that want to stay back because they like,
The anti-vaxxers.
yeah, essentially, yeah. Yeah,
Nah, nah,
you don't want to
nah.
ruin other planets, but stay behind, make this planet good.
Yeah, we'll look after it.
Another one I've been reading, like, which is it has a bit of a scary tinge to it, is called The Rush. I think it's based in like the 1800s, like a western, and the way they talk is so convincing. You think um, like it's accurate to its time frame, but like,
All right.
there's a thing in it called The Pale, which is like a guy with like a suit jacket and one of those bowl top hats, but the bottom half of his body is like a spider. It's just been like killing people out in the snow. It's messed up because it's following like a mum who's trying to find her son who's left town to find work. And then there's all these weird things around the place killing all these prospectors. But it's scary, man.
How many like issues is it in?
I've read 2 or 3 because of
Are they
where
good?
we. Hey,
They're good.
they're good. I'll let you borrow them if you want.
Mm.
But because of where we live, I'm essentially like 2 or 3 weeks behind on new releases because obviously
Yeah.
it goes to Melbourne and then gets shipped out to us, which is another week. And then if there's delays because of everything, sometimes that blows out to like 9 days. But
Yeah.
I like to have comics in hand now, so I don't mind waiting. But that's
Well,
pretty good.
when's the episode 5 of Ronin coming out? Last Ronin.
I don't know.
Like
Do they have a date for it, or are they just like, oh, it's coming now? Yeah.
this comic was so good at the start. This run so good, and now I don't know what they've done. Like, yeah,
It's because he wasn't happy with, was it 3 or 4, and he held it back to fix it up.
yeah. Kevin Eastman did. I don't know if by holding it back, fix it up, or he made it worse.
But
But
5 is the ending, isn't it?
yep, a 5-issue run shouldn't take a year and a half.
Yeah.
Too long. It's too long, man. I've lost interest in the comic. I think a lot of people have. I just get
Uh,
it for the variants now because the variants are absolutely sick.
I don't
Like
know
they are
if
some of the best variants you see in modern day comics. Like they get all the biggest artists on them.
I don't know
From
if
Ninja
people have
Turtles and
lost
Kevin
interest or
Eastman.
if they've just forgotten about it because it's taken so
Yeah,
long.
that too, man. Like I'm gonna have to go back and read 3 and 4 again to remember what
Speaking
happened.
of Eastman and Ripper variants, I have been reading The New Thing, and I think
Oh yeah,
they've done your boy dirty. I'm not a huge fan of it, eh? I've read a few
yeah.
issues, and I chased the good variants. That Can't remember the artist on the first one, but it's him holding like Doctor Doom's mask. And then the
Oh,
second one is that Eastman cover, which like the thick permanent texture lines, like
yeah.
iconic artwork. But the story itself, they're not doing him favors. They're making him seem like way too dim-witted, and he's just essentially chasing a girl around. But I like to try give it 3 or 4 issues before I pull the pin, but I don't think I'll be reading any more of that.
In the original Fantastic Fours, like he's not like dumb, but he's not smart either. Like he's always carries on a little bit.
Yeah,
The thing he does, but like
I think
it's just him and like the torch.
Exaggerated it in this, man.
Yeah. The only reason I'd get that would be for like if I really like the covers.
Yeah, that's kind of what I got sucked into with issue 2.
But
yeah, besides that, I'm just keeping up with all my continuous stuff. New run of X-Men. New story in Spider-Man. They're following Ben Reilly at the moment because Peter Parker is not well, which has been interesting. I think where we're up to, it's going to have Miles Morales as well. So lots of exciting Spider-Man for me.
Love the modern age stuff, eh?
Yeah, it's good.
That's what sucks about like Silver Age stuff is like I have to read it on my phone like Marvel Unlimited.
Yeah.
Which is not like it's not the worst thing in the world, but like I've got some of the books that I read, but I just don't want to get them out.
Yeah, and you don't want to risk it, eh?
I don't
Yeah.
feel like
Turn a page and it just falls apart.
Pulling out a $1,800 book, $2,000 book to read a fucking panel.
You pull it out of the
then
bag
go on
and
to the next $2,000 book to get another panel out.
pull it out of the bag, open it, and the staples fall out.
Yeah. I reckon that's what my 48, 49, 50 would have done.
Yeah.
They were like barely hanging on, eh? They come back all ones, I reckon.
Yeah, that's why it's good with modern age stuff. You can just enjoy it like old school ways, just read through it. And
I do like that. I do. I have enjoyed reading New Burn and Last Flight Out. I really have enjoyed them.
yeah.
But I'm at a stage where I'm about to move though, so it's like, do I order the books here or do I order the books there? Like,
yeah.
Like, imagine if I order a book, comes here, it's like, order again.
And divert the mail. It takes an extra week and a half.
Yeah, and I'm already doing that. Like, I don't know. I think I'll just keep buying Silver Ages. My goal is to get as many FFs from 100 original run.
Yep.
I was going to send you a link today. It's the gold record reprint of #1. They did it in like the 70s, I think.
Also, yeah, it's a reprint.
Yeah, of #1 Fantastic Four, and it was like $1,600.
Wow, for a reprint.
Yeah, and that wasn't even a high grade.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some of the high grades. I was like, Jesus Christ!
Is
It's
it
a reprint?
Is it like blatantly obvious that it's a reprint?
No.
No. So it looked like the original.
It looks like the original, yes.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit. When they do the reprints from them, it's usually the top bit where it says, like the world's greatest comic or Marvel Comics. They have something else there.
Yeah, I've seen like a lot of the Marvel reprints. They'll have like that big red band across the top and be like, I think it's like True Believers runs. Like,
True Believers.
Get pumped out. Make it.
But this was like, I think they did #5 as well, like first appearance of Doctor Doom reprint as well. I think they did a few of the keys.
Yeah.
But I might look into it more because I don't think I'll ever be able to afford a #1 and a #5.
Yeah, send me the link. I'll have a look and then we can blame Dicko for spending money.
But I've got to get 52 first.
All right, man.
That's what I'm going to.
I think we've had a pretty good first step. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it was, man. It's fun. Enjoyed it, eh?
I don't know what our schedule's going to be because Turbo's mentioned he's going to be moving as well, but it's not going to stop us from making more of these.
No. I really enjoy it, eh? Because I'm always constantly buying comics and we're always constantly reading and talking about them.
Yeah, that's it.
Massive hobby.
so much conversation that we've had in the past that we probably could have filled up podcast episodes, and that's what led to us wanting to do this, because we're going to be talking about it anyway. But we'd like to share some stories, and like to share some stories with people. And if you come along, feel free to chat to us in the comments. We'll reply and see what you guys are vibing as well. Feel free to like and subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff. But until next time, we'll catch us later, whenever that may be. Peace.
See ya.